Welcome to Home Business Specialist, the program dedicated to empower you, equip you, and mentor you in starting a home-based business. Welcome to this program, and my name is Eddie, and with me today is
Bola.
This is the second program in this series. We started last week, and the last program we were looking at the reasons, 10 reasons why you need to have a home-based business. And we bring on board over 20 years combined experience in running enterprise. We've run various enterprises, various businesses. We've run franchise organizations. We've run home-based businesses. We've started businesses from the scratch. And people are constantly asking us to advise them on what to do to get started in one line of business or the other. And then we thought, hang on a minute, why don't we just put together a home-based program designed to empower people all over the world in starting something from the scratch, in starting a home-based business. And so in this program, it's designed and dedicated to increase your influence, increase your impact, and of course, increase your income.
Very much so. Last time we spoke about the reasons why you need to start your own home-based business, and there are quite a few of them. Make sure you find out what they are, listen to them, watch the program, and you will definitely get one or two things. But today we're going to be looking at something completely different, and just to enlighten you more about the home-based business generally.
Yes. Just before we go into that session, I just want to recap and bring you up to speed, just in case you missed last week's program. And again, if you want to get in touch with us, email us at eddie@eddieandbola.com. The email should be at the bottom of the screen. So last week we mentioned that there are about 10 reasons why you should start a home-based business. And the first one was independence. The second one was leadership and mentoring. The third one is owning your own time. The fourth one is working hours, your remuneration, you don't have to travel, financial freedom, skills development, and fulfillment, and among other things. But today we are going to look specifically at the difference between a home business owner and an entrepreneur. The difference between a home business owner and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to be home-based business owners as well as being entrepreneurs. It's amazing what the differences could be, from as big as the issue of money, which is where we're going to start from today. Capital. If you're an entrepreneur, you do need quite a bit in capital to run your business. If you're a home-based business owner, maybe you need to also buy into the home-based business, and that is where the bulk stops, mainly when it comes to bulk money. Some years ago, about 10 years thereabout now, we decided to be entrepreneurs and start our own business. We're very happy because we went into this business with quite a substantial amount of money. So we had this money sitting in the bank and thought, all we need to do is to go out and get the business and run the business. However, by the end of the third month, the substantial amount of money had gone down by about 60%, just paying bills, not bringing in any income at all, not bringing in any money at all. We were trying very much, putting one tender in after the other to get business in. But despite that, we had staff we had to pay, we had accommodation we had to pay, we had bills we had to pay. One day, Eddie said, hang on a minute here, what's going on? All I get every day is to pay bills. All simply because we're entrepreneurs. And that is the responsibility of an entrepreneur. You have bills, you have to pay them. You have a lot of capital you have to put down in order to run the business. And that is why maybe some people start and they stop. And that is why statistics also says that most companies fold up within the first 3 years of their existence. Even though you have a lot of money in the bank to run the business, when the business doesn't come in on time, you have an issue. When clients do not pay on time, because that is another issue in itself, you can deliver a service or deliver a product and people don't pay you on time. So capital is always a major issue for an entrepreneur. Meanwhile, if you were running a home-based business, the picture will be totally different, Eddie.
Yes, if you are in a home-based business, the picture is totally different. Now, you will need capital, obviously, but definitely not in the same class. I mean, like Bola mentioned, we've started businesses from the scratch as full-blown entrepreneurs, and the capital was way too much. Not to talk about warehousing, not to talk about having to stock. What about marketing? How do you get your products out there? I mean, it was just too much. So we did that. We built a business from the scratch. We also tried buying into a franchise. So we know a lot about franchise, and we're going to be teaching you and coaching you and mentoring you all through that area. But if it's a home-based business, now the way I see a home-based business is that it's a bridge or hybrid between full-time employment and full-blown entrepreneur.
Yeah.
All right, so, and that's what I like about it, the hybrid. So I see home-based business as a hybrid. So you are not into full-time employment, though you work for yourself, but not by yourself. And also you are not a full-blown entrepreneur. So to be very honest, for you to be a full-blown entrepreneur on any proper business, you may be looking at thousands of pounds or dollars. But if as a home-based business startup, you probably need just 10% or less of that same amount of money. So the capital is there, little or no investment. Another thing is the second thing is investment in warehouse and inventory. All right, if you are a full-blown entrepreneur, you will need to stock your products for a start. You will need to source your products, you need to stock them, and then there's what is known as holding cost. And when you are an entrepreneur, what most people don't take into consideration is even when your profit comes, you may lack the skills to put together all the associated costs involved in making that particular sale. And that's the reason why most businesses collapse within the first three years. And that's simply because by the time you end up making what you call a profit, which is really nothing but a gross profit, when you kick in all the costs associated with making that particular profit, you will find that you probably have a negative balance. And so being a full-time entrepreneur requires a lot of skills, a lot of investment in warehouse. But as a home-based business, you may not need as much investment in warehousing as a full-blown entrepreneur.
Yeah. Again, I remember one of the things that happened to us. At some point at the beginning of our company, the one we started to be entrepreneurs, we decided that we were going to sell a particular type of package. Do you remember the MYOB package?
Yes.
And while we did that, we thought, okay, let's invest in. So we bought the stock, kept the stock in the office. It wasn't too big to keep in the office. Then we had some staff. Then we said one staff should make telephone calls in order to book appointment. Another staff will go on the street in order to get these appointments fulfilled. Another staff should be the one to implement our trained people on how to use the system. Now you got 3 staff, you got a stock. As time went on, we're paying the staff, they're trying to book the appointment, it wasn't happening, but we have to pay them per hour anyway. Sometimes when the appointments happen, the one that is meant to go and do the presentation goes in the hot sun, it comes back with a package again. Or the one that is meant to go and do the training. But there was one problem after the other. When we decided to close that particular line of business, we were still stuck with the stock that we had originally. So basically, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a choice but to stock. Supposing we're home-based business people at that time, we wouldn't have been stocking that material actually. All we would have needed to do was to connect to the system of the original company that has it, and then when we get the orders through, what do? We'll place the order. So it will be back to back without us having to stock anything. Now that's one of the advantages of being a home-based business owner.
Correct. And another advantage, another difference between the home-based business owner and an entrepreneur is that in business, there's what they call a go-to-market strategy. All right. So you find that there are people, major organizations. If you're an entrepreneur, a full-blown entrepreneur, you will need to invest money in market research. So you want to find out who your customers are. You want to find out the demographics. You want to find out their buying pattern. There's so much information that needs to go in. But if you are a home-based business owner, you will find that your go-to-market strategy is very, very short. And so why? Because somebody else will have done the job for you. The company that owns the product you're trying to promote or market, they will have done their own market research. They will have done their own market segmentation. They would have looked at their own demographics. And so all you need to do is just plug in. And so one major difference between a home-based business owner and a full-blown entrepreneur is that you really do not need to invest in so much market research because it will have been done for you. Having said that, it doesn't mean that you do not require an entrepreneurial skills to run your home-based business. Yeah. So what we are saying in this program is, yes, you do require an entrepreneurial skills to run a home-based business, but to be a full-blown entrepreneur means for you to build something from the scratch, invest in all the things that needs to be invested in order to grow a business. Whereas working from home, running your home-based business, you do not have to do that. Right.
Very true. Actually, again, I remember another one of our examples when we were running this firm as a consultancy firm, where we were entrepreneurs. One of the things that was very important about that is the fact that we have to go to the front of the client and go and present our business before the client. Now, as at that time, because it was a business that was available to any level of organization, we were not very sure of which one to zero in on and focus on. So we had the banks, we had the non-for-profit organizations, we had so many different organizations. We were not necessarily specific in where we go to, and there was an awful lot of energy spent. And the whole idea was to try and find out where we get the best returns on investment. However, we also noticed that when it got to the time that we started running a home-based business, one of the particular ones we bought into, there was already market segmentation, like Eddie said earlier. There was already market research. So we knew where exactly we're going to find our clients. We knew exactly how to focus our energy. So there was an awful lot of difference in the focus of energy. By the way, there was an awful lot of difference in how you feel at the end of the day, because in one, you just go out and after spending 8 hours, you just ask yourself, what on earth have I achieved? With the other, as at that time, it was a case of looking at it and saying, I'm so glad I was able to market this area because I know that my potential clients are in this area. So if you are an entrepreneur, it will be a lot more work, a lot more market research, a lot more resources put into marketing in particular, as against being a home-based business owner.
Yes, a lot more resources. And one of such resources is actually systems. With a full-blown entrepreneur, you will need to build all your systems in place, build all your systems from the scratch. You will need to build your finance systems, you need to build your marketing systems, you need to build your web systems, you need to build your email marketing campaign systems, you need to build all manner of systems, And sometimes by the time and a funny thing is that each of these systems carry huge and colossal budgets. So sometimes by the time you think about all the systems that you need to put in place, you may as well just bring out your CV and then dust off your resume and get back to work. So now, but if you are building a home-based business, you will find that there are already existing systems. I mean, there was a particular one we tried out, and I was just blown away. And because they gave us this thing called they call it a business in a box, and so it was just for $49, which comes to about maybe about 30 pounds or thereabout a month. And in this box, you have your autoresponder, you have your database system, you have your autoresponder system, you have your email campaign system, you have your contact management system, you have your. They even gave us your telephone number, free phone telephone number. They even gave us a free phone conference facilities. I mean, now if you are a full-blown entrepreneur, you will have to build each of these components from the scratch, or you will have to subscribe to each of these components. So the difference between a full-blown entrepreneur and a home business owner is that you have existing systems that you can easily plug into.
Yeah, I mean, that particular business that we bought into that Eddie was talking about, it's very interesting because you also get people saying, oh, I saw the email you sent me. Actually, I didn't send any email. It was an auto system that sent the email. So in this home-based business that already have a system in place, things just go out for you. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you could get to that point as well. But like most people that start their own ventures, it's a case of you have to build up, you have to remember, you have to be very good, even at organizing your time, organizing all the things you need to do. There's a lot more. To me, in my opinion, having run both sides of this kind of businesses, I know that there's been a lot more output of effort and energy and finances and not as much income. Yes, there are income, and when it comes really good. However, the amount of time it takes, the lead time is just too long.
All right. So I think what we need to have time for now is just to talk briefly about the difference between a home business worker and working from home.
I just thought, sorry about that, Eddie. I was just thinking about the whole issue of a team, because it's always easy to think about working. I mean, one of the things I found most challenging when we became entrepreneurs was this issue of a team. Coming from an organization where you work within a team or a group of people, you've now started your business and you're an entrepreneur. There is no team to call on. We were the team, just the two of us. And when we eventually had staff, they were not really part of the team. So they were not worried about the things they worry about. They are not concerned about the things that concern. So they just want to earn their salary and go home. Meanwhile, we have to think about the whole issue of what happens if no money comes in this month. Meanwhile, if you buy or you're a part of a home-based system, you already have an existing team. It doesn't look like there's anybody in the room with you, but there is somebody that will be your mentor. There are other people that run that type of business you can always call on. So that is something that is a remarkable difference as well between running a home-based business and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true. Because you also find that some people are not very good at building teams. And some people want to run a business, but they do not have people skills. And so what you find is that just plugging into an existing system of a home-based business, you can actually inherit a team, and people can actually help you build a team that will help you deliver on that particular line of business. That's very true. What else again? Have we left anything out?
No, I can remember.
Okay. Sometimes there's also this misconception, which is you have many organizations today asking people to work from home. So what this program is addressing is not you being a full-time employee working from home. I did that for years. So the fact that you are working from home does not make you a home business owner. So what we are talking about are people who are, in a way, they own their time, but they are working from within the comfort of their home. They're not working within a structured environment, yet they are delivering a structured program. And so that's what this program is all designed to do. It's all designed to empower you to think about starting a home-based business. And we have run franchises, we've run home-based businesses, we've built businesses from the scratch. So we have all that experience. And so what this program is about is a mentoring program designed to help you. And so if you want to send us an email to eddie@eddieandbola.com, eddie@eddieandbola.com. We'll be quite happy to field your questions. We're quite happy to support you in any way we can possibly can. There is a question we would like to field at this point in time, and the question, Bola, you go ahead with the question.
Yeah, the question is, and it's interesting because quite a few people have asked that question at different times as well. It is, I don't like my job, but I hate selling. I hate salespeople. I drop the phone on them, and I wouldn't want anybody to treat me like that. What am I supposed to do? I would have loved to start a home-based business, but I know at some point, it doesn't matter how nicely it's painted, I still have to sell to somebody. I don't want to sell. Help me.
Okay,
What's your thought,
that's a very good question. I mean, just that makes two of us because I don't like selling, and I don't like it when I have to sell anybody anything. But I will say two things to that, and that is training and development. There are organizations that are designed, there are organizations set up to train you and coach you on how to prospect, how to follow up, how to close. I used to feel like that before. I used to tell myself, oh well, I would like to own something of my own. I like to build something from the scratch. What I don't like selling. I don't like talking to strangers. So we partner with quite a few organizations that will actually coach you step by step and telling you how to take your home business to the public, even if you do not like to sell. So I went through one of such programs, and it was a fantastic program. So yeah, if you send us an email at eddieandbola.com, we'll be quite happy to recommend some courses for you to take. In fact, this particular one is actually very nice. They actually give you scripts to use. And so I was given this script. So I read out this script when I had to prospect. I read the second script when I had to do follow-up. I read a third script when I had to close. And at the end of the day, I have my check in my hand. So there are things you can do. There are organizations that we partner with that we know and partner with that we can recommend to you to help you overcome that particular barrier.
Yeah, there are different types of businesses as well. And obviously with different types of home-based business, you also have different approaches that you give to the whole issue of selling. Now, 9 times out of 10, in order to be able to make any money in from any business, you got to talk to somebody. However, there was this particular one we bought into that gave you the opportunity to only talk to people that have come to look for you. So the people that have come to your business that comes in as a prospect are actually people that are looking for what you have to sell. They come your way. So by the time you're calling them back, you're calling to say, you came to my website or you called my number, because they are the one looking for something. That is one. Number 2, why did I know that this works? Because we just came back from holiday. And Eddie, during the course of this holiday, within the space of 5-10 minutes, had spoken to 2 people and sold his idea to them without selling. What does that mean? He just asked them about how they were and found out what they're looking for. And from that, as people like talking about themselves, when you allow people to talk, it's a matter of time you get an inroad to talk to them back. So you don't need to sell. You just need to know what people need. And then how do you find out what they need? By listening to them. So there's somebody around you that is interested in what you have to offer. All you need to do is to listen long enough to them. There will be somewhere that you can step in there and say, do you know I can answer this question? You don't like your job? Me neither. I never liked mine. I mean, I do like my job, but you could say that. Me neither. I never liked mine. But how did you get out of the trap, of the 9-to-5 trap, that you're not really earning a lot of, but you have all the skills, you're sitting at home, you don't know what to do with them. I have something I tried. Maybe you could try it as well. People love recommendation. So to me, you don't need to sell. You just need to listen enough and then recommend what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So we will quite happy to recommend, and you can see from our conversation, we never used to be like this before. We are products of training, skills development, and so we're quite happy to work with you and also recommend the people who actually trained us, equipped us into trying the skills and the principles that we put to use that has helped us up to this point. That's what this program is about. And so again, if you are listening in, send us an email, let us know you're listening into this program, and we're quite happy to answer any of your questions. And that's all we can take today. That's all we can do today. Next week, we're going to be looking at how do you choose a home-based business? What kind of personality profiling is required for a home-based business? Are you a face-to-face person? Are you a telephone person? Are you a kind of person that would love to stand before an audience? So we're going to look at all that next week, and we're also going to answer the question of how do I prepare for a home-based business? Well, but from us today now, it's have a glorious day and have a good day, and we'll see you next week. Bola.
Thank you very much for your time. And again, we look forward to hearing from you. If you wouldn't mind, you could send us an email at eddie@eddieandbola.com. eddie@eddieandbola.com.
All right. Thank you.